Hi and welcome to another video from The Essence of Clarity. My name is Sabine Straver. I'm a professional organizer. Now today I would like to talk about budgeting. Budgeting is an important part of being organized, feeling organized and knowing what happens with your money. I have used the software YNAB for many years now, and it's not that I wake up in the morning and go, yes, I can do budgeting. It's more that I go, okay, I'm up to date with my budget, I do it regularly, and it's just a nice feeling once you know what you spend on and what you're planning to spend on, because you can steer it. You're more in control, you're simply more organized. So if you like, I'm going to take you on the screen with me and I'll show you how I budget and how the software works. Okay, so we're in my budget now, and you can see it's Sabine. This is what we call my splurge money. So this is probably my favorite account because I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want, so provided there's money in here. And often the last couple of weeks that meant I am actually buying a lot of clothes because I've been working on my capsule wardrobe. So that's been really exciting. Okay, so when I get in here, and whether this is the home budget or my own private budget, I'm first I've done a zero budget before, and I haven't done the budget for a couple of weeks. Normally with the house budget, I do this at least every fortnight when we're getting a regular income in, if not every week. So I can see that the last time I actually reconciled this was on the 29th of the 8th, 2018. So on my other screen, I'm actually going into my bank account. I select probably 2 days prior to this date, just to make sure, and the date of today. Then I'm going to click search, and then we'll bring up all the most recent transactions, or all the transactions from this day onwards to today. Then I actually going to click on a format, and in this case for YNAB, OFX is the easiest one. If you're having a budget in Excel or any other software, they'll probably specify a different one. I'm using for this account the ING account. Doesn't really matter. Most banks work very similar once you've figured out where to find your date range and extract all the data from a certain date range. It's really easy. Okay, so once I've downloaded this file, I can just drag it into YNAB and it does its magic. So I have 30 transactions. So I'm going to import, boom. Now I have to basically tell YNAB what I've been doing with those 30 transactions. You can see these little kind of wiry link things. What that means is that while I was in the shops and I was doing my thing, I actually updated my budget on my phone, on the app. So now all I have to do is approve it, because it already specifies that I bought clothes and that it was that amount, and it links up with what it's saying in the actual bank account. So that's super quick and easy. Bought some shirts here, bought a handbag, it was very fun. Actually went out to buy coffee and a snack at multiple different places because that's what I do. And now I have the other things left. So I can do this a few different ways. I can go from the bottom to the top, so the most recent ones. I can actually look at inflow. So actually, for simplicity's sake, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say this is all income, these ones. Yeah. So my regular amount for splurge is 200. We're actually having talks. Maybe we should increase it because I've been buying a few clothes outside of splurge. But generally speaking, this is it. Okay, so now I have $49.09 back, which is different from my normal allowance, but that's something I got back. So sometimes everyone kind of does that. You either use the wrong card, or for whatever reason you've used a different account for a certain purchase than you were meant to, and I got that money back. So that's pretty good. So I'm just going to do that as income, and this as well, income. So do you see that once you've set up, it has regular things that you would use, And if you've used it before, it remembers it. And then even the link between income to how it needs to actually link to the budget is shown. So here it needs to be budgeted. I need to actually do something with it. So I'm adding 200 to it. I'm doing the same here, income to be budgeted, and I'm putting more in there. Now the 200 income. So what I actually like about this is you can see these 31.99. Here I bought them, and it turned out they were giving me a gentleman shirts, which was lovely, but that was not what I was after. So I returned them and I got my money back, which is nice because then it goes straight away back to my budget. And I actually spent that on clothes, so I'm going to put that back to clothes. So all of a sudden I have more than 60 bucks back into my clothes allowance, which is nice. Normally when I do this without chatting to you guys, I would actually go from bottom to top, but this is kind of more a tutorial style. So sometimes we actually buy our own snacks and all that. So this is, I bought coffees for 1 or 2 weeks. Kmart, I will take this because it's a little while ago. I'm just going to say this is clothes and it's $4. So you want to make it as accurate as you can. You don't want to overwhelm yourself in the detail. Kmart clothes. And I bought something at Officeworks, which is definitely not clothes. So I'm just going to pick one of my categories, splurge. I have no idea what I bought, but it has to be something fun because shopping at Officeworks is fun. And the reason why I don't know anymore is because it's more than a month ago, but that's because it's still categorized correctly. And this goes in line with doing it pretty weekly or fortnightly. It's so much easier. Okay, so, and actually, I need to get that money back. So I'm actually taking this out from to be budgeted, and then I'm going to flag this because really, I supposedly bought something from the grocery shop, which I don't want to from my splurge money. So that's a reminder for me to transfer that money back. Central Hotel, I probably took my lovely partner out to dinner. So this is going to be calling it dinner and dining out. And it's automatically there. Okay, then I bought a dress. So, oh yeah, you might think, what's he on about the undress? That's actually a brand of a particular dress, and that's what it's called. So it's an unusual category to have in your budgeting. I'm actually going to call this clothes. You can be very detailed in exactly which shop you bought it from. So with Kmart, I tend to shop there a fair amount, same as with Officeworks. With clothes, so once I've done all my accounts, I'm simply going to go back to the budget via this button. So now I had over the last couple of weeks money coming in and money going out. Now, obviously, if you do this every week, every 2 weeks, it's really simple because you go, okay, this is where my money goes. I'm now doing it slightly retrospectively. I'm going to put $200 here and it clears it up. Dining out, we've been using the other account for that, but just to be sure, oops, I'm going to give $15 there and the rest I'm using the other account. I definitely need to budget for my haircut, which is coming up, and I have to buy shampoos and all that stuff. Don't need to use anything, don't need to budget anything for the business at the moment, and there's always going to be little amounts that I just want to splurge on. So now I have a zero-based budget. I have a $15 on my account for dining out or having a lunch with a girlfriend. I've basically balanced out that I spend a lot on clothes. I've allocated money to haircuts and I've allocated something to the business, and I've got something to splurge. What I'm going to do is you can see these orange things, and what they mean is that I've got a target in place. Probably not at the stage that it works 100% for me. So if I achieved it 100%, then it would be green. So my budget for each month was $125 for clothes, and I spent way more than that. So the system is happy with it. I originally, when I set this up, thought, okay, well, my haircut should be $75 each month, and I haven't met that. It's not super restrictive. If I don't stick to that, it's not the end of the world. I move money around. But as of today, I know that I've got $15 for eating out, I've got $58.95 for clothes to buy, and I've got $79.03 for haircuts. I'm not spending anything on the business at the moment, and splurge is just very minor. A little random thing I want to buy for myself. Hopefully, this was really useful and you can see how it works. This is actually easier to do for household budget because you've got really kind of tighter lines, demarcations in terms of, I have to pay the electricity bill, I have to pay the water bill, and rent or the mortgage has to be paid. This is much more fluid because I can move it around however I see fit. I just have to make sure that I don't overspend because this is a debit card and I simply won't have more money in it. Another thing, a final thing to remember is that the difference between your account balance and your budget, which is quite pronounced here, is that really as of this moment in time, I have $164.13 in my account, but that's not what I budgeted. So if I look at the account and go, oh, you beauty, I can actually buy, 2 pairs of shoes. But then I look at my clothing allowance and I say, I won't even make it to 1 pair of shoes. Why is that? Well, I thought it was a priority to go to the hairdresser and then have more clothes and shoes. So this is really the power of the budget.
Okay, so hopefully that was useful for you. It was definitely a longer video, but I really wanted to show you how quick and easy it can be to do a budget of a couple of weeks with some really good software and the power of the decisions you can make based on a budget. If you do this every week, every fortnight, like I do with the home budget, it will take you less than what I showed you. A little bit of growing, and developing your system, but once you've got that, it's done and you'll just be so much empowered and life is going to be so much better when you have a budget. Okay, hopefully this was useful and I'll see you in a shorter video soon. Bye.